Hi, welcome to 4.3 Real World Problems Ratios from Course 1A Singapore Math. Well, this chapter is the application of what we have done in 4.1 and 4.2. So, therefore, we do not have content video for this chapter because this is just real world situation. So, the questions are not given straight away to solve, like you're not given equations to solve. Rather, you are given word problems or story problems, and you have to solve them. So let's get started with the first one. In a science experiment, Elizabeth mixes a salt solution and vinegar. So you have salt solution and vinegar in the ratio 3 to 7. So salt and vinegar, and that's 3 to 7. The total volume, so we are given total, which is 260 milliliters. So let's write here total equals to 260 milliliters. What is the volume of vinegar Elizabeth uses? Now we know total is given, and this 3 and 7 tells us we have total 10 units, right? 3 plus 7 gives us 10. So these are 10 units, and 10 units represents how much? 260 ml. So 1 unit will be how much? How do we do that? We divide both the sides with 10, right? So this one is easy. 0 will be out. So that means 1 unit is 26 ml. Now that you know 1 unit, vinegar is how much? 7 units here, right? So we just have to multiply. So to know how much vinegar was used, we just say 7 units times 26 ml. So let's do the calculations here. 26 times 7. 7 times 6 is 42. 4 there. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. So this is 182 milliliters. Second, a rope is cut into 3 pieces. So we have 3 pieces, PQR. The lengths of the pieces are in the ratio 3 to 5 to 7. So we have P, Q, and R. And it's in this sequence, right? So that's 3, 5, and 7. How much is this total? 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. So this represents 15 units. If the rope is 33 feet and 9 inches long, we have to find the length of PQR. Now, you have 33 feet and 9 inches. You need to have 1 unit over there, either feet or either inches. So let's convert feet into inches. We know that 1 foot equals to 12 inches. These conversions are very important. You should know them. So now we need 33 feet. So that's going to be how much? We do the multiplications here. 33 times 12. That's 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus, we put 0 there. 1 times 3 and 1 times 3. So that's 6, 9, and 3. So that is 396 inches. Now we have 33 feet and 9 inches. So that means this is 396, right? This is 396 plus 9, which is 405 inches. Now we got to find the lengths for P, Q, and R. So this 405 represents 15 units. How much is 1 unit? So we need to do 405 divided by 15. Let's do the calculations here. 405 divided by 15. 15 times 2 is 30. That gives 10 as the remainder, and that's 5. 15 times 7 is 105. So 1 unit is 27 inches. Now we have to find for P, Q, and R. So P is how many units from here? It's 3 units. So we say 3 times 27, which is 81 inches. You can do the calculations to confirm my answer. Q is 5 units, right? So we say 5 times 27, which is 135 inches. And finally, we have R, which is 7 units. So we say 7 times 27, and that's 189 inches. All these three, I've given you answers directly, but you can do the calculations to check if my answers are correct or not. Ready for the next? Angelina Briella and Destiny shared some stems in the ratio of this. So you have Angelina, you have Briella, and you have Destiny. It's 8, 9, and 18. Angelina received, so this is 184 stamps. Find the number of stamps that Briella and Destiny each received. So this here we're talking about units, right? Ratio. So 8 units represents 184. 8 units here equals to 184 stamps. Right? From this we say that. So how much is 1 unit? We divide both sides with 8. So 184 divided by 8 is how much? 184 divided by 8. 2 times 16, that's 2, and 4, that's times 3. And that's 0 there. So that's 23 stamps. Now that we know 1 unit is 23 stamps, can't we find 9 units and 18 units? So for Briella, it's going to be 9 times 23, and that's 207. Check it here, 23 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27, 2 there, 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So that's 207. And Destiny is how much? 18 times 23. Look, this is times 2, right? So you just have to multiply this also by 2. So 200, double of 200 is 400, and double of 7 is 14. So this is going to be 414. And it's done. Good? Let's go to the next. The number of points Chris, Noah, and Xavier scored in a video game was in the ratio 2 as to 3 as to 4. So Chris, Noah, and Xavier. 2, 3, 4. Xavier scored, so that's for Xavier, 114,400 points. Okay, so 4 units represents 114,400 points. How many points did Noah score? So as we did in the previous question, we have to first find the value for 1 unit. So let's first do that. So 1 unit would be how much? We say 1 unit equals to 114,400 divided by 4, right? Because 4 units represent that much. So let's do the division here. 114,400 divided by 4. That's 4 times 2 is 8. 3 is the remainder. 4 down. That's times 8. 32. 2 remainder. That 4 comes down. That's 6. 24. That's 0. And these two zeros we add here, right? So 1 unit is how much here? 28600 points. How many points did Noah score? Noah is 3 here, right? So we have to do 3 times 28600. So we do here 286 times 3. We don't need to do 00 there, right? We just add to the answer. So that's 18, 1 carry, 25, 2 carry, and that's 8. So the answer is 858 and these two zeros. So these are the points of Noah. How many points did the 3 children score in all? So we know the points for Noah. Yes, we know the points for Xavier, but we still don't know how much Chris had it. So Chris has 2 units. So we will do 286 times 2 over here. That's 12, 1 carry, 16 plus 1, 17, 1 carry, that's 5. So for Chris, it is, let's write here, 572 and 2 zeros after that. So these are his points. So for the total, now we are asked all 3 children, right? So we have to add all of them. So let's write 114400. That's Xavier's. Now we write Noah's from here. So that's 85800. Then we have 57200. That's Xavier's, that's Noah, and that's Chris. 0, 0. That's 14, 1 carry. That's 17, 1 carry. That's 15, 1 carry, and that's 2. So these are the total points for all of them together. And it's done. I know this had a lot of calculations, but we did it. Let's go to the next one. Madeline has 3 cats, Socks, Princess, and Luna. So we have Socks, we have Princess, and we have Luna. The ratio of Sock's weight to the prince's weight is 4:5. So this is 4 and that's 5. The ratio of prince's weight to Luna's weight is 6:7. What is the ratio of Sock's weight to Luna's weight? So we know Socks to princess. We know princess to Luna, but we do not know Socks to Luna, and that's what we are expected to find. So here what we do is we take the LCM of this number basically. We multiply it, okay? So we say this is 30. Now, to reach this 30 from here, from 5, what it takes, you have to multiply it with 6. Now these are in the same line, right? So you will also multiply this with 6. So this becomes 24. Okay, and now the next part, from 6 to 30, what it takes times 5, and these are in the same line, so we have to multiply this with 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. So the ratio is this. So this is how you do this. So they have asked Socks to Luna, right? So we say this is 24 over 35. From here, 24 and 35. And if you want all the three, we would say 24 as to 30 as to 35. So be careful while multiplying. Make sure you're multiplying with right numbers. Here comes question 6. Benjamin poured 78 milliliters of water into containers X, Y, and Z. The ratio of the volume of water in container X to the volume of water in container Y is this. So let's write it. So we say X, Y, and Z. So X to Y is 5 to 2. The ratio of the volume of water in container Y to the volume of water in container Z is this. So Y and Z. So here what do we observe? We have to have something here, right? And for that, we do this. 2 to 8 is how much? It's times 4. So we do the same thing here, times 4. So that makes this 20. So now we have the ratio of X to Y to Z. Before we had X to Y and Y to Z. Now we have X to Y to Z, all three together. How many units are this? 20 plus 8, 28 plus 11 is 39 units. And 39 units is how much? 78 milliliters, which means 1 unit is going to be how much? It's easy number, 78 divided by 39. So that's basically 2 milliliters. So 1 unit represents 2 milliliters. Let's see what we have to do here. How much water was poured in container X? So now we don't use this 5. We have to use this one because that's what we have used here for counting, right? For X, it's 20 times 2, which is 40 ml. So that's what was put in container X. How much more water was poured in container X than container Z? So for this, we need to have the value for X and Z. From here, we know what is X. So let's do for Z. Z is how much here? 11. So we say 11 times 2, which is 22 ml. Now it says how much more, right? You have to find the difference. So we say X minus Z, which is 40 minus 22, and that is 18 ml. So container X had 18 ml more than container Z. Question 7. The ratio of the number of mystery books to the number of science fiction books in a bookcase is 4:3. So we have mystery book and we have science fiction, and the ratio is 4:3. The ratio of the number of science fiction books to the number of biographies. So now we have one more here, which is biographies, and this is 4:5. If there are 48 science fiction books, so here we know the number of books are 48. Find the total number of books in the bookcase. Now here 3 and 4, they do not have any common factor, so basically we take the LCM, right? So we multiply this and this becomes 12. So that's 12 units. Okay, so here from 3 to 12 is times 4 here. So we do 4 times 4 again, right? Based on this, because here we had 4. So this becomes 16 units. And likewise here, from 4 to 12, it's times 3. 3. So we do same thing here. 5 times 3, which is 15. So here we have 15 units. Now, 12 units we see here. This 12 units are 48 books. We can do simple calculation over here, right? So 1 unit is how much? 48 divided by 12. So that's 4 books, right? 1 unit is 4 books. Therefore, 12 units will be 12 times 4, which is 48 books. So basically, this was times 4. So if you have to find all the other books, we do the same thing, times 4 and times 4. So 16 times 4 is 64 and 15 times 4 is 60. Okay, so we now know the number of mystery books, we know the number of science fiction books, and we know the number of biographies over there. What are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find the total, which means we have to add them. So total equals to 64 plus 48 plus 60. And that is how much? Let's do it here. 64, 48 and 60. So that's 12. To here 1 carry. That's 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. So that's 172 books in total. Question 8. In a music room, the ratio of the number of clarinets to the number of flutes was 3:4. So clarinets and flutes. That's 3:4, this one. After the school bought another 24 flutes. So this is what they are purchasing. The ratio became 3:8. So now the ratio is becoming 3:8. When? After 24 flutes were bought, right? So we write it here. How many clarinets were there in the music room? So basically, clarinets is remaining the same. There's no addition or removal. But in case of flutes, there is addition. So when 24 flutes were bought, what happened? From 4, it became 8, right? So there's a difference of 4 units basically. So 8 minus 4 equals to 4 units. And that 4 units represents how many flutes? 24. Therefore, 1 unit will be 24 divided by 4, right? Which is 6. That's what you did here, right? Divide by 4, divide by 4. So 1 unit is 6. Now we know 1 unit is 6, right? How many clarinets were there in the music room? So this is 3 units. So for clarinets, we do 3 times 6, which is 18. 18 clarinets were there in the room. Now there's a way to confirm your answer, and I will show that trick over here. Here we have 18, so I'm writing clarinets and flutes. We had 18 and here 4 units, right? So this would also be 24. 4 times 6. Now 24 flutes were bought, so plus 24 over here. So that becomes 48, and this still remains the same, right? And this can be written as 6 times 3, and this is 6 times 8. What is common? 6. So we take that out. What is left? 3:8. 3:8. Okay, so that was just a way to confirm the answer. Ready for the next? At a book fair, the ratio of the number of students to the number of adults. So we have students and we have adults. And the ratio is 4:3. After 160 students left, what's happening here? 160 students left. The ratio became 4:5. How many adults were there at the book fair? Now in this case, it's the students who are living, but the adults are not, and the ratio of the adults is changing here, right? And therefore, we multiply this here. So we say this is to be multiplied. This entire line is to be multiplied with this 5 over here. So students and adults here would be times 5, right? So 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. And now we do the same thing here. So we multiply this one, but with how much? 3 here. So that's times 3. So that's 12 and that's 15. So this is how we get the same number there. And now we know the difference here, right? So that's 20 minus 12. That's 8 units. And 8 units is how many students? 160 students, which means 1 unit is how much? We divide both the sides with 8, right? So 1 unit would be 20. So 1 unit represents 20. Now we know that 1 unit is 20. We just have to find the number of adults. And for that, now we are not going to use 3 or 5. We are going to use this one here. So adults that were there equals to 15 times 20. 15 times 10 is 150. Double of that is 300. So there were 300 adults. And here comes the 10th question. The number of chickens to the number of ducks on a farm was 6 as to 5. So you have chicken and you have ducks. That's 6 as to 5. After 63 ducks were sold, so 63 is taken out, there were 3 times as many chickens as ducks left. So if we say duck was 1 unit, the chickens will be 3 units because there were 3 times of that, right? And now we see how we do this. So this is 3 and that's 6. We need to equalize this. So we multiply this with 2 and we multiply this also with 2. So that becomes 6 and this becomes 2. So now here it's the same 6 and 6, right? Because that's not changing. Remember here adults was not changing. We equalized that. Here chicken is not changing. We equalized that, okay? Because the other one is changing and that difference will help us find the value for 1 unit. Now what's the difference here? You have 5 minus 2, which is 3 units. And 3 units is 63 ducks, right? So 1 unit will be how much? Divide both the sides with 3. So 1 unit is 21, okay? And now it says how many chickens were there? For the chicken we have 6 units, right? So chicken will be 6 times 21. And that's very easy. You can do it mentally. 6 times 20 would be 120 and 6 times 1 is 6. So that's going to be 126. How many chickens and ducks were there all together on the farm in the end? Okay, not at the beginning, in the end. So in the end, how many chickens are there? It's 126, right? That does not change because there was nothing happening with the chicken. It was ducks that were sold, okay? And here, based on this, we know that ducks were 1/3 of the chicken, right? If there was 1 duck, there were 3 chickens. So if there are 126 chickens, how many ducks are there? So we do ducks equals to 126 divided by 3 because there were 1/3 of the chicken, right? And that's 42. So the total at the end were 126 for chicken and 42 for ducks. That is basically 6 plus 2 is 8, 2 plus 4 is 6 and 1 there. So total is 168. Together, chickens and ducks were left on the farm in the end. That's it. And it's done. Question 11. Last year, the ratio of the number of students in an art club to the number of students in a science club was 3 as to 2. So it is arts club and the science club that we are talking about. So that's arts and that's science. That's 3 as to 2. This year, 70 more students joined the science club. So what's happening? Here we have plus 70 students, okay? 3 and 2 are units. Remember that. Don't confuse them, okay? So this year, 70 more students joined the science club and no students left either of the clubs. There are now 4 times as many students in the science club as the art club. So what does this say? In the arts club, if you have 1 unit, the science will have 4 units, right? 4 times. Now what's happening? The art is remaining same. There is no addition and there is no subtraction there. So we will make that equal, right? So how do we equalize here? So if we multiply this with 3, it becomes 3. You have 3 here, right? So if I multiply this with 3, I also have to multiply this with 3 and that makes it 12. Okay, so this is 2 units here and now here it becomes 12 units. So we take the difference now. So we say 12 minus 2, which is 10 units. And what does 10 units represent? There is a difference because we have 70 students who joined, right? So 10 units represents 70 students. So that's 70. So 1 unit is going to be 7, right? 70 divided by 10. So 1 unit is 7. Now what does the question say? How many students are there in the art club? So in the art club, we have here 3 and here 3, right? The units are same. So in the art club, we we have 3 times 7. 3 units and each unit is 7. So that's 21 students, right? Even before and after they are same. How many students are in the art and science clubs this year? Okay, so they're talking about the current year, not about the past. So here we are also supposed to consider the 70 students who joined the science club. So which means we are going to use this. How many total units we have? Because we have to find total, right? So 3 plus 12, that's 15 units, and each unit is how much? 7. So the total is going to be 15 times 7, and that's 105 students. So these are the number of students we have this year. Jessica and Sanjay collected some seashells. The ratio of Jessica's seashells to Sanjay's seashells was 3 as to 1. So you have Jessica here and you have Sanjay here. So that's 3 as to 1. Jessica gave Sanjay 21 seashells. What's happening? From Jessica to Sanjay, there is 21 seashells moving, right? So Jessica will have minus 21 and Sanjay will have plus 21. Okay, the ratio of Jessica's seashells to Sanjay's seashells become 2 as to 3. Now the new ratio is 2 as to 3. How many seashells did Jessica have at first? So in this kind of questions, when there is exchange, we usually do this. We do the total here. Total units basically. So this is 3 plus 1, so that's 4 units, and this is 2 plus 3, that's 5 units. Okay, and then we multiply this with each other. So we multiply here 5 with 4. So do you see this 4 here and that 5 here? So that's 20 and that's 20. So the idea is to equalize it. So if I multiply this here with 5, every unit here should also be multiplied with 5. So this new units will be 15 here, and that's going to be 5. And here we multiplied with 4. So multiplying this with 4 is 8, and that's going to be 12. Okay, so now we take the difference of this. So that's 15 minus 8, which is 7 units. Even if you take the difference of this one here, so that's going to be 12 minus 5, 7 units. So it doesn't matter which one you take, you will still have the same answer. So the 7 units represents how much? It represents 21 seashells, right? So 1 unit will be how much? 3. 21 divided by 7, right? So 1 unit is 3 seashells. So now it says how many seashells did Jessica have at first? So we are going to use this one here at first, right? This one is what she has after giving away. So that's 15. So Jessica has 15 times 3. That's 45 seashells. She had 45 seashells and she gave away 21 to Sanjay. Okay? Let's go to the next one. The ratio of the number of stems Sarah has to the number of stems Hunter has was 3 as to 8. So we have Sarah here and we have Hunter here. And the ratio is 3 as to 8. After Hunter had given 18 stems to Sarah. So now there is inter-exchange that's happening, right? So we will write here the new ratios, which is 9 as to 13. As we did in the previous question, we are going to total this up. So 3 plus 8 is 11 and 9 plus 13 is 22. Now we multiply with each other, right? So 11 gets multiplied with 22 and this 22 with 11. What's the answer here? 11 times 22 is 242. The same answer here, 242. So we equalized it. And you remember, right, what we did with the other part here? If this is multiplied with 22, even this needs to be multiplied with 22, right? So 22 times 3 is 66 and 22 times 8 is 176. Same thing, multiply with 11. So that's 99 and this is 143, right? Multiplied with 11. And now we take the difference either of it, 176 minus 143 or 99 minus 66. You can take any of it. So let's say 99 minus 66 because that's easy to do. That's 33 units, and 33 units represents how much? 18 stems, right? So 1 unit will be how much? 18 over 33. So this is basically 6 times 3 and that's 11 times 3. So 3 3 will be out, and we are left with 6 over 11. So 1 unit is 6 over 11. So the question says, how many stems did Hunter have at first? This is what he had. So we say 176 times 6 over 11, and we are doing calculation for Hunter. And 11 goes in 176. Yes, it does. And that's times 16. And 16 times 6 is 96. So he had 96 stems. Okay. How many stems did they have in all? So together, how many stems they have is what we have to find. So we have already done for Hunter. Let's do it for Sarah here. So that's 66 times 6 over 11. So 11 will go here 6 times. So that means Sarah had 36 stems. So now in all, the total will be for Sarah 36, we'll write here, and for Hunter 96, right? So we added 90 plus 30 is 120. 6 and 6 is 12. So 132. Mental math, or you can check here, 96, 36. That's 12, 1 carry, 10 and 13. So question 13 is done. Ready for the next? The ratio of the volume of fruit juice to the volume of smoothies served at a party was 4.5 as to 2.4. So fruit juice and smoothies. That's 4.5, right? 4.5, I can write it like this, because my other number is decimal. So let me write it as decimal. There were 35 liters more fruit juice served than smoothies. Find the volume of smoothies served. So what's the difference? So it says fruit juice is served more compared to smoothies. And how much? 35 liters. So from the ratio, can we find the difference? So we say 4.5 minus 2.4. 5 minus 4 is 1 decimal point. 4 minus 2 is 2. That's the difference. So 2.1 units. That's the difference, right? Is how much? 35 liters. Therefore, 1 unit will be how much? 35 divided by 2.1. So that's 35 divided by 2.1. So you can write this as 350 divided by 21, right? It's easier. So you multiply with 10. And you can write this as 7 times 3. And this is 7 times 50. So here 7 7 out, which means we have 50 over 3. 1 unit represents 50 over 3. Find the volume of smoothies served. So this is what it's served, right? So we can say 2.4 units, that's smoothies, times each unit being 50 over 3. If this was 24, 3 would go 8 times, but this is 2.4. So 3 is going to go 0.8 times, okay? And now 8 times 5 is 40, right? But we have not 5, 50, so we put 0 here. But this is not 8, that's 0.8. So we put decimal here. So it's basically 40 liters. So smoothie that was served was 40 liters. Okay, this was just doing mental mathematics. And we go to the next one, question 15. A piece of ribbon is cut into 2 shorter pieces. So that's 2 pieces, right? Piece 1 and piece 2. That's 2.8 and 1.25. The difference in the length of the 2 shorter pieces, the difference. So we are supposed to find the difference. So that's 2.8 and 1.25. So we can put 0 here. This is not possible. So we make this 7 and 1 comes there. That's 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 2 is 5 and decimal and 1. So that's the difference. So 1.55 units. What does this say? The difference in the length of the 2 shorter pieces is this. So 1.55 units equals to 80.6 centimeters. What is the length of the original piece of ribbon? From this, we find the value for 1 unit first. So that is equal to 80.66 upon 1.55. Let's try to get rid of the decimal point here. So we say times 100 and this also times 100. So this becomes 8060. We'll have to put extra 0 there because we just have one decimal place. And and this becomes 155. 8060 divided by 155. If it was 150, like 15 times 5 is 75, right? So this we will try with 5 first. That's 750 plus 5 times 5. That's 25. So this will become 775. Did you get that? Let me show it here. 155 times 5. That's 25. 2 here, 25. That's 27. 2 there. And that's 5 plus 2, 7. Okay. So that's 25 to make it 800 plus 6. So that's 31 and then 0. And that's exactly times 2. So this 1 unit is 52 centimeters. And now we have to find the total, right? What is the length of the original piece? And for that, now we add this two. So that's 2.8, 1.25. That's 5, that's 0, decimal, 1 carry, and that's 4. So the total is going to be 4.05 and each unit is 52 centimeters. And the answer for this is 210.6. And I want you to do the calculation and confirm my answer whether I have done it right or not. And here comes question 16. The ratio of Ricardo's age to his mother's age is 3 to 8. After 15 years, the ratio will become 6 to 11. So here, the way we are going to solve is a little different. So let's say this is 3x and this is 8x because they are units basically. So we don't know that x. When we multiply with that x, the value of the unit, you will have the real answer. So 3x and 8x. Now what is it saying? After 15 years. So Ricardo and his mother. After 15 years, it would be 3x plus 15 and this would be 8x plus 15. But the ratio will be what now? 6 over 11. Okay. So now we cross multiply this. So we say that 3x plus 15 times 11 equals to 6 and we multiply with this, right? So 8x plus 15. So this becomes, now we open the bracket. So when you open, you multiply with this and this both. Same thing here with both the numbers inside. So 11 times 3 is 33x plus 11 times 15 is 165. That's equal to 6 times 8 is 48 and the x there, and 6 times 15 is 90. Now I rearrange my terms. I'll get all x terms on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So what I do is this. I'll do minus 90 minus 90. So this will cancel out, right? And I will also say minus 33x and minus 33x. So this cancels out. Now what do I have? 165 minus 90. How much is that? It's 75, right? 90 plus 10 is 100 and 100 to 165 is 65. So the difference is 75 equals to this one here. 48 minus 33 is 15x. And now we want the value for x. So we say divide by 15, divide by 15 because we just want x. So this 15 will be out. And 15 to 75 is times 5. So we say that x equals to 5. And what are we supposed to find? Ricardo's age now, which is this. So we say Ricardo's age is 3x. That is equal to 3 times 5. So he is 15 years old now. Okay. The next one. Find his mother's age after 15 years. What is her current age? We said 8x, right? So 8x plus 15 because it's after 15 years. So that's equal to 8 and the value for x is 5 here plus 15. So that's 40 plus 15. So she will be 55 years old after 15 years. Okay. Here we go to the next one. The ratio of Owen's savings to Lucas's savings was 4:3. So that's Owen and that's Lucas. That's 4 and that's 3. After Owen saved another $120, so he's saving 120, so that's plus. And Lucas saved another $60, so that's plus 60. The ratio became 8:5. What was their combined savings before each of them saved the additional money? So here in this question, we have to total it, right? So we say this total here. 4 plus 3 is 7 and 8 plus 5 is 13. And then we multiply. So we say 7 times 13 and 13 times 7, which is 91. So we equalized the total. And after that, we also have to multiply the units here, right? So we say times 13 here, and this would be 7. So times 7. 4 times 13 is 52, and 3 times 13 is 39. 8 times 7 is 56, and 5 times 7 is 35. Okay? So now we take the difference. 56 minus 52, which is 4 units. And what does that represent? $120. So 1 unit will be how much? 120 divided by 4, that's $30. And now it says before. So before is what? This one here, total. So we say 7 times 30. So that's 210. So that's the total before they started saving or before they saved additional money. Question 18. Michelle was reading a book. So you have read and you have unread. What's the ratio? 2:5. After Michelle had read 32 more pages, the ratio of the number of pages read to the number of pages unread became 18 to 17. How many pages were there in the book? So we do the total here as we have been doing in other questions. So that's total there. 2 plus 5 is 7 and 18 plus 17 is 35. So we do times 35 and here also times 7. 35 times 7 is how much? 245. This is also 245. Let's check here. 35 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. So 3 there, that's 21 plus 3, that's 24. The next step is to multiply here, right? So we say this and this. This is 35, so this is 35. That's 7, so this is 7. 35 times 2 is 70. 35 times 5 is 175. Then 18 times 7 126. 17 times 7 is 119. Now we take the difference, right? So 126 minus 70. We are taking this difference. So that's basically 56 units that we are talking about. And this 56 units is 32 pages. So how much is 1 unit? So 1 unit will be equal to 32 upon 56. So 32 is 8 times 4 and 56 is 8 times 7. So 8 out, which means this is 4 upon 7. And the question is how many pages were there in the book? The total number of pages that were there in the book. So this is the total here that we have, right? But that's not the total number of pages. Remember that. So we are going to find total here, but we will be using this. So we say 245 times. Each unit is 4 over 7. Okay. And now we divide this. 245 divided by 7. 7 goes thrice. That's 21. 3 left and 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. So the answer to this is 35. So 7 times 1 and 7 times 35. And 35 times 4 is 140. So the total number of pages in the book were 140. And here comes the last question, and then we are done. Wow. The ratio of the number of $5 and $10 bills in a box was 5:7. So let's say this for $5, it is 5x. And for $10, it is 7x. 4 $10 bills were taken out. So from here, how many are we taking? 4 out and changed into $5 bills. So these 4 bills of $10 that you're taking out. So that's 10, 10, 10, 10, right? Making it $40. That amount is converted into $5 bills and you're keeping that back. So you're keeping $40 back. But instead of $10 bills, you have $5 bills, right? So 40 divided by 5 is 8. So we are adding 8 more $5 bills over there. The ratio of the number of $5 and $10 bills in a box became 9:5. So when this happened, the ratio here becomes 9:5. So we write this as 5x plus 8 over 7x minus 4. So that's for $5 and that's for $10. What did the ratio become? 9 over 5. And now we simply cross multiply. So this becomes 5 in the bracket 5x plus 8 equals to this 9 here and this entire thing. So that's bracket 7x minus 4. And when you have that, you have to multiply with each term inside like this. Okay, so let's do the multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25 and the x there. 5 times 8 is 40 equals to this one. 9 times 7 63 and the x, and this is 9 times 4, that's 36, but there's a minus sign here, so we put minus there. And now what do? We have to rearrange to get our answer, right? So here we will say minus 25x and minus 25x. So that means we can take this out. And here we say plus 36 and here plus 36. So again, this will be out. What are we left with on the left hand side? We have 40 plus 36, that's 76, equals to 63 minus 25 is 38x. Let's check here. 63 minus 25. We can't do that, so we make this 5 and give 1 there. So 13 minus 5 is 8 and 5 minus 2 is 3. So x will be how much? 38 times 2 is 76, right? So x is 2. Now the question is, what was the total value of all the bills in the box? So for that, we have to do this here. So $5 bills is $5 is how much? You have 5x, right? So 5x, and you have to multiply with its value. That's 5. So that's 5 times 2 times 5. So this is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. So the total value is this. Okay, these are just the bills that we have. That's not the value. The same thing for the $10. We say 7x times 10 because the value of each bill is $10. So we say this is 7 times 2 times 10. So that's 14 and times 10, $140. But the question is total value, right? So don't leave it there. So the total is going to be 50 plus 140. So that's $190. And that's it. And it's done. So with this, we finished the chapter. 19 questions done. I suggest rewatch this to make it very clear for you so that you are ready to do the review for this chapter. We shall meet soon in the review for this chapter. Until then, keep practicing, keep watching.